Here on Fog Entertainment, we recently wrapped up Par, the original series on Stars. Now, of course, there is free spin-offs coming to this channel very soon. We have got Power Book Ghost, Power Book Raising Kanan, and Power Book Force, whatever it's called, the Tommy one, right? That's what we're here to talk about in a later time, because that one is the one you watch second in chronological order. But here, what kicked it off, it was the OG series, and we're here to discuss, was it a poor series ending? And what I mean by this, I looked at Reddit, right? Because normally when you finish a series, you want to see what other people say, because like arseholes, everybody's got an opinion. And a lot of people said it was poor writing. And my problems with it is, now if you watch the reviews, the last 5 episodes were pretty much solo episodes on certain characters, and it was a potential whodunit. Now, of course, at the end of episode 10, normally each season has got 10 episodes, so episode 10 to me is kind of like the finale in a way, while the other 5 episodes are more like a DLC in my opinion. But of course, Ghost gets shot at the end of episode 10. We don't even know if he dies, but we do find out in episode 11 that he dies. So essentially what we get is 5 episodes. Episode 11 is about Dre, episode 12 is about Paz, episode 13 is about Tommy, episode 14 is about Rashad Tate going for governor, and then episode 15 is about Ghost, his son Tyreek, and ex-wife Tasha. My problem with the end of this series is I've never seen a show do a whodunit angle to wrap up a series. I think that's something that would be better executed if you did it like in season 4, season 5, not the final season. And I think the problem with this is in your final 5 episodes, you're dedicating a full hour, and in some cases, 75 minutes, 80-minute episodes. The characters just don't deserve it. Now, out of the few episodes, I believe I gave 9 ratings, but then out of some of them, I was dishing out 5s. Like, I mean, Paz, let's talk about it. Why did she get a full episode? She is the sister of Ghost's ex-lover, Angela, who, of course, has been dead for, at this point for a season. Why does she need a full episode? Then you've got Rashad Tate. I actually quite liked his episode about, not becoming lieutenant governor, going to rock bottom, and then by the end of it, he becomes governor of New York. Not just lieutenant, the top man, the governor of the Democratic Party, right? So that's all good for him. But you've 2 hours there of 2 characters that aren't exactly main characters. Now, I actually seen that Rashad Tate was supposed to have a spin-off to himself, which was going to be Power Book 5. I think that would have been absolutely ripping the arse out of this show, by the way, if you need another spin-off. I mean, 4 spin-offs all happening at the same time as each other. That would have been a bit mental. So I think it was better because I've watched a bit of Power Book 2 where they've incorporated his governor run into that. So I think that makes a bit more sense. But it's like, why would you give these, not minor characters, because Rashad Tate's a pretty decent sized character, but he's not exactly a main character in my eyes. Like, yes, his role as governor of New York's a massive role, but in terms of in the show, he's like a B-level character, and Paz, well, I mean, she was a C or a D-level character, and to give her a full R just seemed like a waste to me. It's like Ghost died at the end of episode 10, and there's me thinking, right, he's died quite early here as the main character of this show, and here, I think a whodunit angle is a really good idea, but I just don't think the end of series it is. I think with a series ending, you want closure, but that's the other problem that lies with this show, because of course with Dre, they wrapped him up in episode 11. Episode 13 is solely about Tommy. Of course, that's when you see like Ghost's last scene, and then Tommy looks up. We don't know who the killer is, because of course they dragged out the reveal of the killer to the finale. But then, like with Tommy, his episode sole purpose is to set up his spin-off, right? Well, the other 2 before him's kind of just the end of those characters. I doubt we'll see Paz again. There's no need to see her. And then Dre obviously got burnt alive in prison. Episode 14 is about Rashad Tate. Like I said, that was to set up his own spin-off, but he's ended up being in Power Book 2. Then we get the series finale, which of course reveals that Tyreek, in fact, killed his own father. And here, this is essentially another episode to set up Power Book 2. So out of the 5 last episodes, 3 of the episodes were essentially used to set up spin-offs, while other 2 were closure, but one of them was not needed for a minor character. So for me, you look at that, it just looks like a bit of a clusterfuck. Like, on their own, some of the episodes are great, some of them are bad, but overall, to wrap up a series, it didn't really work for me, because what you had is a lot of these characters interacting in these 5 episodes, but the problem with that is you're repeating the same scenes that we've seen, but just from the other person's perspective. And I think here that can be utilised really well to see other people's, different perceptions of the events that happened and what's actually going on in their timeline. And I think in some of the episodes it did well, but by the time you get to episode 15, the series finale, like the first 40 minutes of the episode was already previous cutscenes and, scenes for the other 4 episodes. Like, you shouldn't be wasting half of your series finale on stuff you've already seen. That's my personal opinion. And for me, it did subtract away from the finale. I think the whodunit was brilliant. But what I think the problem is, you've got these 5 episodes at the end that chronologically, about 3/4 of the episode take place before Ghost's death. So why not just make Ghost's death like episode 14, and then the aftermath of all these 5 characters or whatever then take place in the series finale, instead of dedicating solo episodes to all these people. Now here, Tommy and Dre, I think they absolutely deserve their own episode. I think, Tyreek and Tasha, considering they're the main character's family, I think they probably did deserve their own episode. But for me, I think they dropped the ball a bit, and I think they kind of sacrificed the series for the spin-offs, and I think that's a problem. I don't think a show should ever do that. Unless you think that the spin-off is going to somehow, be miles better than the actual original show. But then, when's that ever going to be a case, if we're being honest? I mean, it would be like Breaking Bad sacrificing the end of that show in order to an attempt to help Better Call Saul. It'd be like Sun sacrificing its own ending to help Mayans. And whatever other shows are out there, that have spin-offs. To me, it didn't really work, and I think they dropped the ball a wee bit. But here, that's just my opinion. And judging off Reddit and other videos I've seen here off YouTube, a lot of people think the writing did go off the wall here. And I think they actually did a good job, though, to keep it in some sort of chronological order. Because don't get me wrong, it's a hard job to actually shuffle all that timeline craziness into like 6 episodes that are taking place at the same time, but you're seeing different perceptions of it. But anyway, guys, that's it. That's my opinion. Was it a poor series ending? I would describe it more as a clusterfuck, but it was still good. So until next time, that's it here on Fog Entertainment. Be more power theories coming soon, and peace.